Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Talks between the UAW and the Detroit Big Three pick up speed with a massive deadline looming. Progress reportedly being made, but is it too little too late?
Right now, we have a little more than 2 days before that deadline at 11:59 p.m. Thursday night, and the union says if there is no agreement, they are more than ready to strike. Good news to report, though, this evening on progress toward a possible deal. Thanks for joining us. I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Progress happening when it comes on wages. Let's get things over to business editor Rod Maloney. There is still, though, a lot to get done here. Of course, Rod.
Oh, Devin, yes. But this is actually good news. We have not had much lately. Yesterday, you may remember, 14.5% was the offer on the table from Stellantis, and that will be over 4 years. That's the pay raise. Well, it's looking like that is no longer the number, that there's been so much paper crossed back and forth that they've actually exceeded 14.5%. Where that is, we don't know, but it keeps changing on a minute-to-minute basis. But you can say this, it is the first real progress that we've been able to report so far in these talks.
The Ford main table talks are happening at the Glass House in Dearborn. Sean Fain there much of the day today. General Motors talks are happening at the Warren Tech Center, and Fain stayed there until 10 p.m. last night. The Stellantis North American headquarters in Auburn Hills are hosting those negotiations, and Fain is scheduled to be there this afternoon. Local 4 News has learned the talks are starting to bear some fruit. Higher wages are taking shape. The union reducing its wage demands, but looking for more money in other areas. A source close to the talk says that the proposals and counterproposals are moving more rapidly now, yet some issues like pensions and the 32-hour work week are stalled. The company's rejecting those. The union isn't going to counter and instead looking to refer those to unfair labor practice issues. As you can see, there is a long way to go for a tentative agreement. Despite the wide gulf between the union and the companies, though, there is some optimism a deal or deals might get over the finish line. Jason Greer is a labor consultant watching these negotiations closely. He points to the UPS Teamsters battle from earlier this summer, where they eliminated tiers and also gave fat raises, the exact same thing the UAW is demanding now from the domestic three.
My hope, and I still firmly believe this, is that both parties are going to come to a 23rd hour resolution, because it's good for the automakers and hopefully it's going to be good for the UAW as well.
Well, his optimism is something a lot of people share. We just had somebody drive by us here saying no strike, but they've got a lot of work to do before then. And so as things stands right now, we're waiting for Sean Fain. He was on CNN last night. You'll recall tomorrow night he's going to be on Facebook Live. So we're looking to find out between now and then where things stand. Back to you.
So, Rod, what are you hearing about what a strike rollout would likely look like?
Well, you know, a lot of that depends, Devin, on whether it's 3 companies, 2, or 1, and we don't know what that's going to be. To be honest, I've never seen all 3 roll out at the same time, so I don't know, frankly, what that would look like. But all of the locals are now preparing. There are going to be informational pickets. There are going to be all kinds of things that they're going to be doing on the local level, getting ready, having those picket signs together. And as I understand it, it's already sort of widespread all across the country.
All right, Rod.
Well, our other top story this evening, the turmoil surrounding sexual harassment allegations against Michigan State head football coach Mel Tucker.
Today, his accuser, Brenda Tracy, issued a new statement through her attorney claiming she had no intention of making the story public. It reads in part, "Let me be patently clear. Brenda Tracy had no intention of disclosing anything publicly until someone else violated her right to confidentiality." Meantime, with Mel Tucker suspended, the team's interim head coach addressed the media today. Sean lay live in East Lansing, and he was not dodging questions about it, Sean.
And his name is Harlan Barnett. He has a long history with MSU as a player and assistant coach. And you're right, he faced questions head on about how this Mel Tucker cloud is impacting himself, his team, and the entire university community.
We got to all come together in this time of adversity, and we have to be unified.
Up front and to the point, interim MSU football coach Harlan Barnett introducing himself by saying MSU is a head coaching job he wanted, but not like this.
How I've been feeling personally is like this because of how it happened. I'm being totally honest here. You know, my I wanted to be the head coach of Michigan State, but not in this way.
Sunday, a players-only meeting after the team learned that the coach they came here to play for, Mel Tucker, had been suspended, and serious allegations against him of sexual harassment brought by the very sex abuse victims' right advocate Tucker brought in to address his team. Also Sunday, Barnett met with the team. I asked if anyone on the team who came here to play for Tucker was hanging their heads.
No, they pushing forward. If I had to say this, a couple of them might say, when it first happened, I was a little like, what's going on? But once we had that player-only meeting, it seemed like they all got back on solid ground.
Title IX attorneys tell us an investigation like this, Athletic Director Alan Haller would know about the allegations and the details. MSU not making Haller available to us to answer our questions. It stood out that Haller was not here as Barnett was being introduced.
Alan is not here, kind of symbolically backing you up. Did you know he wasn't going to be here, and does that bother you at all?
No, that don't bother me at all, no. Al and I go away, we know what it is, you know what I mean? There is nothing about that. Yeah, we're good.
All right, back here live. The question remains here at MSU that we continue to ask is how could the highest levels of Michigan State University not know about this Mel Tucker situation since the investigation began in December? So far, interim president Teresa Woodruff has declined our request for interviews. Of course, we will keep trying. And at 6 o'clock, Devin and Karen, students walking up to us, really unsolicited, expressing how disappointed they are in the entire process right now. We're live in East Lansing. Sean Lay, Local 4. Back to you.
That timeline sure is curious as we try to dig into that. We appreciate it. Thank you, Sean.
All right, new at 5, a former Roseville police officer facing some serious charges tonight.
23-year-old Isaiah Rumbley faces multiple child porn charges. Let's get out to Victor Williams. He's working on this story for us this evening. Now, Victor, we know he is a former officer, so the question is, did these alleged crimes happen while he was a member of the force?
Well, actually, that seems to be the case. This one comes as a shocker for sure, but it does look like investigators have been looking into it for quite some time. We know that this man by the name of 23-year-old Isaiah Joseph Rumbley has now been arraigned on multiple charges in connection to child pornography and child exploitation crimes. Now, Rumbley, just like you said, was a former officer with the Roseville Police Department who resigned back in June 2023, apparently because of these allegations. Now, prior to him leaving the department, a special investigation was launched in December of 2022 with state troopers looking into the possibility of Rumbley allegedly committing these crimes. And in February of 2023, that's when a search warrant was executed at his home, leading to evidence that would evolve into charges down the line. As of right now, it's said that someone close to the victim went to Michigan State Police and then caused all of this. For the most part, Rumbley is now facing charges of using a computer to commit a crime and being in possession of child sexually abusive material. He was given a cash bond in the amount of $5,000, but we are hearing there is a chance that more charges could be on the way. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor. Now let's turn to Washington. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced today he is directing an impeachment inquiry to be opened into President Biden. It comes as Congress has just 11 working days left to reach a deal to avert a government shutdown. In a major development, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announcing a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden, centering on allegations that during his time as vice president, he helped his son Hunter Biden make money off of his name.
These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption, and they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives.
The Speaker directing the House Oversight Committee to open the impeachment inquiry, calling it the next logical step of the Republican-led investigations underway for months. Speaker McCarthy making the move without a full House vote, something he had said he would not do. There are serious doubts that McCarthy would have the votes to proceed, with many Republicans opposing an impeachment track because of a lack of evidence directly tying President Biden to his son's transgressions.
I haven't seen that link yet, and so I'm reluctant to agree with Speaker McCarthy.
The Speaker insisting this step may open up new evidence through access to bank records and other documents.
We are committed to getting the answers for the American public. Nothing more, nothing less.
A White House spokesman saying House GOP investigators' own witnesses and documents have shown no wrongdoing by the president. The top Democrat in the Senate calling the process absurd and a distraction.
We have a government that might shut down because of the House Republicans, and that shutdown will hurt people.
We're not here to talk about brinksmanship.
With hard right members pushing for deep spending cuts, Congress has until the end of the month to reach a government funding deal to avoid a shutdown.
Now, you look at the history of impeachment inquiries, this will most likely lead to an impeachment vote. But if that does happen, the process we would expect would certainly die at the door of the Democrat-controlled Senate. We'll see.
Now to the weather as we take a live look outside from our Windsor sky cam. The sun's out after a decent amount of rain in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, and now it's going to start. I know, love sort of a great shot there, but now going to start feeling a lot more like fall as we make our way through the week.
Yes, let's get over to Kim Adams and take a closer look at what we can expect headed into tonight.
Well, it's a great looking skyline. We do have those clouds out there and a few spotty showers. I'll show you on Exact Track 40 radar in a moment. But right now, let's talk about our cooler than normal weather. 70 in Detroit. It's only in the upper 60s in Howell, 67 in Pontiac, 72 in Adrian. We should be at around 76 degrees this time of year, so we are just a touch below in most areas. Exact Track 40 radar. Well, this is exactly the definition of spotty showers. Most of Metro Detroit is dry, but we are picking up a few returns. So let's zoom in here. Right along I-96 out in Howell, there's a brief downpour there. These are not thunderstorms, nothing severe. This is just garden variety showers moving through parts of Metro Detroit, and will continue to move through Metro Detroit here over the next couple of hours at least. I want to go on just a little bit tighter here so we can pick up a few more cities. So it's raining right now in parts of West Bloomfield, but not all of West Bloomfield. That's how small these showers are. Also Pontiac, Birmingham getting a few sprinkles as well. We'll talk about the rest of the week's forecast and also the outlook for the next couple of weeks. I think you're going to like it. Don't put the short sleeves away just yet.